Welcome to Hunter x Hunter Theory. I am back after a long hiatus. I will also put out a video about Hunter x Hunter, so please stay tuned. Why do you think Hisoka did not accept Machi's Nen Stitches? Even though Hisoka was defeated by Chrollo and resurrected by Nen that intensifies after death, some of you may have thought that it would have been better to have Machi heal him. In this video, I would like to present 4 theories as to why Hisoka turned down Machi's Nen Stitches. 1. What is Nen Stitches? Nen Stitches is Machi's Nen ability. They appeared only once in the work, when Hisoka's arms were amputated by Castro in Heaven's Arena, and Machi used Nen Stitches to attach Hisoka's arms together. Machi's Nen Stitches is a cheat-level ability that can connect almost 100% of the blood vessels, bones, nerves, and muscles, and Hisoka even says, "Maybe I hurt myself on purpose so I can see your work up close." However, there is a limit to the strength of Nen threads, and Machi says not to force the arm until all the tissues are completely attached, so regeneration is solely dependent on the person's self-healing ability. The speed of healing is also different from that of Neferpito's Dr. Blythe, which I thought was upwardly compatible with Neferpito's Dr. Blythe. 2. How Hisoka turned down Machi's Nen Stitches. Hisoka lost his life in defeat to Chrollo. The main cause of death was asphyxiation due to lack of oxygen from the wall of flesh in the explosion, and he also lost his left hand and right leg. Afterwards, Machi sewed Hisoka up with the words, "Thanks for helping to exorcise Chrollo." Hisoka's heart starts beating and he is revived. Then Machi said, "If you've learned your lesson, be sure to pick your battles next time. Sit down, I'll stitch you up," and Hisoka said, "No, I'll be fine," and stopped the bleeding himself, using gum and texture surprise to restore his appearance. But with Machi's Nen Stitches, as I explained earlier, you can not only look good, but also connect almost 100% of the vascular bone nerve muscles. Why did Hisoka refuse when Machi was willing to stitch them herself? From this point on, I would like to consider why Hisoka did not accept these Nen Stitches by Machi. 3. Why Hisoka did not accept Machi's Nen Stitches. I would like to discuss 4 theories. The first theory is that Hisoka was wary of Machi. Immediately after the Hisoka-Chrollo fight, Shalnark, Kurapika, and Machi were by Hisoka's corpse. Why were these 3 here in the first place? There is a theory that Chrollo's side was in a joint fight with other members of the Phantom Troop in the Hisoka vs. Chrollo battle. But if this joint fight theory is true, the 3 were by Hisoka's corpse because they came to confirm that Hisoka had properly lost his life after the battle was over. Even if this theory is wrong, it is possible that Shalnark, Kurapika, and Machi came to see Hisoka because Chrollo told them to make sure that Hisoka was properly dead, and if he was not dead, to take his last breath. And when Hisoka was revived by Nen that intensifies after death, Machi was by his side, so he sensed that Machi had come to confirm his death at Chrollo's request, and he refused to accept the Nen ability of the person who tried to put the final blow to him, however much Machi may have been. Perhaps Hisoka anticipated that Machi might be able to stop Hisoka's movements at any time by setting up a stitches in the middle of the Nen Stitches, or that Chrollo might be instructed to do so even if Machi was not. Also, aura-created materials such as pot clean and gallery fake also serve as N, and can be located by the surgeon. Nen threads may work in the same way, so there is a risk of Hisoka's location being identified if Machi is left alive after the cure. Even if Machi is killed, Nen threads will not be released as Nen that intensifies after death and is likely to bind Hisoka's actions. At the time of the Heaven's Arena arc, Hisoka was ostensibly a member of the Phantom Troop and Machi was an ally, so he accepted Nen Stitches without resistance. But now that he was no longer a member of the Phantom Troop, he thought it would be unwise to keep Machi's Nen threads inside his body, which could be an enemy that Chrollo had ordered him to kill. Hisoka was wary of Machi and rejected Nen Stitches in anticipation of these events. The second theory then concerns Hisoka's character. In Togashi's interview at the end of Volume 34, he says that Machi was kept alive as a messenger to the other members of the Phantom Troop. However, the fact that Hisoka is about to take the lives of all members of the Phantom Troop means that he is about to take Machi's life as well. If Hisoka owes a favor to the person whose life he is about to take, he cannot take Machi's life without hesitation, which Hisoka's character would not allow. From the various episodes in Hisoka's work so far, we can read that Hisoka's fundamental values are that winning is, of course, his goal, but his priority is to have fun. So was it against Hisoka's values to receive treatment from his enemies? In the Greed Island arc of Dodgeball, when he would have won the game had he not touched the ball and just left it out, he said, "Only a flawless victory will do." That's what Gon wants. And he even broke his own fingers to get a perfect victory, using bungee gum to bounce off Razor's receivers. Of course, Hisoka was following in the footsteps of his teammate Gon, but it was also a depiction of Hisoka's values of winning perfectly, rather than winning or losing the match. However, against Kurapika right after the exchange with Machi, he probably would have taken Kurapika by surprise, and perhaps not in the sense of a fair and square win. But this does not contradict the line, "From now on, I'll fight any of them on sight until I've killed them all." In the Hunter's world, battles like the one in the Heavens Arena are special, and I think he was referring to the deadly battle without rules that he mentioned after Gon's battle. Therefore, this theory that Hisoka did not receive Machi's Nen Stitches because of Hisoka's values and character of initiating battles anytime and anywhere, but not helping the enemy, is also quite conceivable. The third theory is that Hisoka thought Nen Stitches would not cure the problem. Machi's Nen Stitches is a Nen ability that can connect almost 100% of the vascular bone nerve muscles. Hisoka's left hand and right leg were shattered by the explosion caused by the sun and moon, and if the limbs to be connected were missing to begin with, even Machi's Nen Stitches would not be able to heal them. Nen Stitches appeared only once in the work, in Heaven's Arena. Hisoka's arms, severed by Castro, were there at the time of treatment. And when the right arm was connected with Nen Stitches, Hisoka was holding the right arm with her left hand while Machi was activating her ability. And of course there is no way to connect the angiobone neuromuscular system without an object to connect it, as in this case. Therefore, when Machi said, "Sit down, I'll stitch you up," after the Crollo fight, she was not referring to his left hand and right leg, but to his neck area, which she said was in great pain. Since the doll that played the role of the bomber acted as a buffer and Hisoka's body was less damaged than expected, and the cause of death was lack of oxygen, it is possible that Hisoka decided that as long as his heart was beating, his injuries were not serious enough to rely on Machi's Nen Stitches. Hisoka was able to stop the bleeding in the neck, which Machi would have said he would have stitched, with his own gum, so there was no need to go to the trouble of having it stitched. After Hisoka said, with gum, "Stop the bleeding, recreate the missing flesh." This suggests that Machi said, "Then you don't need me. I'm leaving." This is because Machi can only stop the bleeding and clean up the appearance. Therefore, Machi said, "Sit down, I'll stitch you up," as if to say, "I can't connect what I don't have, but I'll clean it up for you." In response, Hisoka said, "No, I'll be fine," meaning, "I can stop the bleeding and restore the appearance of the body." Machi also said during the treatment against Castro, "They're a bit ragged around the edges, but you'll manage. Your bungee gum and texture surprise can cover them up." And later Hisoka actually used bungee gum and texture surprise to do the same thing after the Crollo fight. According to this theory, Machi's "sit down, I'll stitch you up" may have been Hisoka's line of exertion to Hisoka, who knew Hisoka's ability to treat her to some extent, but who had desperately pursued Crollo and lost the battle after her wish had come true. Shalnark, Kurapika is right, Machi is kind. The fourth theory is that Hisoka was short of money. When Hisoka received treatment from Machi at Heaven's Arena, he paid 20 Mirian Jenny for his left hand and 50 Mirian Jenny for his right hand, for a total of 70 Mirian Jenny. And we believe that Shalnark and Kurapika are correct that Machi did not receive any advance from Hisoka this time. Hisoka is a person who at no time chooses any means for his own enjoyment. It is possible that he has been spending so much money for his own pleasure that he refused Machi's offer of Nen Stitches because he did not have the money to pay for it. Personally, I think it is Theory 2. Theory 3 is also conceivable, but even if the left hand and the right leg were not lost by the explosion of the sun and moon, but remained in their original form after being cut off, Hisoka would have refused Machi's Nen Stitches because of his character. I think it would not be in keeping with Hisoka's value of enjoyment to receive treatment from an enemy who is about to take your life. Which theory do you agree with? What other theories do you think are possible? I have so far presented the reasons why Hisoka refused to treat Machi. For those of you who have been able to see me again, it has been a while. I have posted videos in the past, so if you haven't seen them yet, please watch them. I will continue to put up more videos, so please click the good button and subscribe to my channel. See you again in the next video. Ciao!